It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four, invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that with Jerry every morning having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir. Got devotion to all those who keep us showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for Jawjacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's that Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the party. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025. This is episode 849 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host for the next hour, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over that hour, me, you, and longtimers like Marcus Kyler and Code Brew, Augusta Delgado, Kia Ora, Brews and Hacks. Guys, first timers, I already saw a couple in chat here, Holden Training, and a couple others that ran through here. We are all, whether first timer or long timer, going to be going through the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be using every bit of my ability to distill out cyber risk reduction nuggets of knowledge that you can implement at your practice, at your organization, for your clients today, tactically or strategically in a long-term way. Maybe you're more of the BISO CISO crew looking at you, Jack Scott, and you need some of those insights in order to lay a strategic framework down to help your business and your stakeholders in 2025. We got you covered. Also want to let you know, if you're looking to break into the industry, the show is for you also. It is for practitioners, but we're a multi-pronged, multifaceted, wicked, flexible group over here. We're basically gymnasts, okay? We're cyber gymnasts. If you're looking to break into the industry, you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? This right here, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, chef's kiss, designed to give you an absolute home run answer when you're asked how do you stay current in the industry. Now, just showing up is not the solution. You've got to engage. You've got to pay attention. Guys, we are a supportive, inclusive community, if you didn't know. So if you got questions, just ask them. You will get an answer. You will not be mocked, ridiculed. There are no stupid questions. There's only lifelong learning and education sharing. It is Friday, which means only one thing. It is James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Joke of the day. I see James McQuiggan already dropping 10 gifted subs in chat. Thank you, James. If you're one of the 10 people who just became squad members, be sure to check out the squad emote tray. For those first timers in chat, please welcome them. If today's your first time, even if you've already said it in chat, like Holden Trading and others, please say hashtag first timer in chat. We have a special sound effect. We have a special emote from the squad members to you, just to make you feel a little bit more welcome here in the community. Guys, I want you to know, for all the stories that we're going to be going through today, I haven't researched or prepped for any of them. I literally do not know what stories are going to be coming down the pike.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. We're not screwing around here. We're just getting to work. Plus, it's a lot of fun to see me do. Sometimes I have to do gymnastics, right, in order to find some value for you to pull out of the story. But we're gonna do the best we can. Good morning, Kimberly can fix it. Now, before we get into it, allow me the opportunity to share with you the stream sponsors, those organizations that I partner with, that Simply Cyber aligns with, that is doing great stuff for the community and also financially supports the show so we can do all the fun stuff here. Really quick, it is First Friday, which only means one thing. Every first Friday of the month, we do special stuff. Number one, we are doing bingo live right now. So if you had Ric Flair woo like I did, you can go ahead and mark that off. There is a pinned chat if you are on YouTube with a link to the bingo card. I can see right here, Carrie's in there, James at 35,000, Lara Flores, Blood, Sweat, and Rage. Good luck to all of you. Don't be shy. Go ahead and scoop up one of those bingo cards. It's just for fun. Also at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so in a few hours, we will be doing a Discord-only AMA event. So definitely look forward to that. All right, let's get the ad reads really quick, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you how this show, not only is this show a banger, how this show can actually help you with your CPs. Back in just a second here. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Normally we just do regular ad reads, but we got some special ones for you today. Antisyphon Training is another sponsor. I want to make you aware of this right now. Right now, you can sign up for their SOC core skills with John Strand. I've taken multiple of John Strand's classes. Why am I telling you this? You can take this class for free. For free. $0. There's no reason. If you have the time and the desire to learn, then there's no reason not to do this. Antisyphon Training wants to break down financial barriers. This guy right here, John Strand, has a boatload of knowledge. He's done this course many times. It's really well refined. You will get practical skills from it. And it is, you'll get live Linux forensics, memory forensics, AD analysis, threat hunting, vulnerability management, no big deal. Now this is gonna be April 7th through, hold on, I know it's April 7th. Where's the dates on this? Right here. April 7th through April 10th. April 7th through April 10th. So this is literally next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 4 days of classes, 16 total hours. Basically, the Pay What You Can training is provided by like Barricade and Flare, Plextrack, and Ping Castle. So, Antisyphon is having their time paid for, but you can take it for free. I'm telling you, if you have a chance, do it. You won't regret it. I promise you. Okay, this isn't me just pitching Antisyphon. I know these people personally. They're great people.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. James McQuicken at 35,000 feet. Always love a good Bingo Friday. I hope everyone has an awesome day and a wonderful weekend. I'll be at 35,000 feet tomorrow. James is off to New York City to go see a couple Broadway musicals with his daughter. Oh, wow. Thanks for the super chat, James. And also supporting the community. And what a great dad. Great role model. Very inspiring. James McQuicken, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I also want to tell you about Barricade Cyber's Fortify 365. Guys, is your Microsoft 365 environment secure? With business email compromise attacks on the rise, your entire population. I just tried to do 3 things at once. I can only do 2 things at once. Your entire operation could be at risk. Fortify 365 from Barricade Cyber Solutions is your defensive shield. Their team of experts implements proven security standards to protect your business from cyber threats, ensure compliance, and safeguard your sensitive data. They've helped countless organizations strengthen their M365 defenses with tailored solutions that address real-world vulnerabilities. I can attest to this. They've done it for organizations that I've been responsible for, so I have literally worked with them and seen what they can do. It's great. Don't wait until after a breach to take action. Visit Fortify 365 today to learn how much we can learn, or you can learn, they can learn how much they can secure your Microsoft 365 environment against tomorrow's threats. All right, also delete me, but I'm going to just do them at the mid-roll. I feel like that was like a lot of ads and stuff, so we're going to do delete me at the mid-roll. Let's go here. All right. Guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, this is an instructor-led webinar, so you can get CPEs for it. We are working out the ISACA piece of it, which has recently changed, but basically for your own benefit, go ahead and say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot of it like Funky Monk, Kimberly Can Fix It, Swims with Sharks, Mondo Avila, right? And just say what's up, grab a screenshot. It's like, basically it's registration that you're here, and then you can file it away. Once a year, count the screenshots, divide by 2. Those are the number of CPEs because it's half a CPE an episode. All right, guys, we got a great show for you. Like I said, we're going to be sliding in to the AMAs. We got the jokes at the mid-roll. Just a really comprehensive show today. If you are a first-timer, I didn't see mods didn't drop any first-timers. If today is your first episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, enter into chat, hashtag first-timer, so we can shout you out. I also want to know that, let you know, Poner Joe said that the CTF, Simply Cyber Community, we have a monthly CTF as well with cash prizes. The next one will be April 24th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So stay tuned for that. Everybody sit back, relax, and let's go at the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, April 4th, 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, first official first-timer, Jay Denson. Welcome to the party, pal. That's Jdenson, Jay Denson. So squad members, if you would please welcome. Also, Holden Trading, Holden Trading, another first-timer. Guys, we got first-timers coming in. Make the circle wider, please.
I'm Steve Prentice. Google patches Quick Share vulnerability. This app, formerly known as Nearby Share, is a, quote, peer-to-peer file sharing utility similar to Apple AirDrop that allows users to transfer files, photos, videos, and other documents between Android devices, Chromebooks, and Windows desktops and laptops in close physical proximity, end quote. Researchers at Safe Breach Labs disclosed details of this new vulnerability that, quote, could be exploited to achieve a denial of service or send arbitrary files to a target's device without their approval, end quote. In other words, a zero-click.
Ew.
This vulnerability was one of 10 that researchers discovered last August.
Okay, a couple things here. Number one, James, first-timer, welcome to the party. Not to be confused with James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. There's only one of those guys, but there are multiple James. So James, welcome to the party, pal. Okay, so check it out. This is a vulnerability in a Google technology that's built into the operating system, I would assume, or like it's a default, not built into the operating system. It's like a default app. I suspect would come with most Android builds because it's designed to be like Apple AirDrop. Quick Share, they call it, whatever. I never heard of it. I don't really use Android devices for like my phone or my tablets and stuff like that. But if you are an Android user or you have people in your business that have them, right? Especially if you're, guys, let's be real. If you're working in a business that is more than, say, 100 people, chances are you've got Android users in your environment. Now, this is a zero-click vulnerability, which means someone can push a file onto your device without you doing anything, okay? So that's not good, obviously. Number two, and this is probably the first thing that I thought of right away. This requires physical access. Okay, like I can't right now Apple AirDrop something to Lara Flores, right? Agent 57, I can't push something to Agent 57. This isn't like Predator or Pegasus software where I can send a text message and infect your phone, right? So there is a physical limitation here, which greatly reduces your risk exposure, right? Because someone would have to get to you. Additionally, I would point out, I'd have to look at the research here, but just being able to push a file onto your device doesn't mean it is running malware, right? You'd still need the whatever you push onto it to execute. Now, getting a file onto a device, that's a big step, right? And if you can overwrite a file or Trojanize a file that you know is going to get executed, then it will get executed. So, but just pushing it isn't a thing. They do mention a denial of service attack being possible. This is very similar, guys. If you remember 2 years ago, it was like fall 2023, and there was it was hot for like a second, right? It was so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Where people could like basically overwhelm Apple device or iPhones and iPads with the Bluetooth pairing of the AirPods. You remember you could like fake that with a Flipper Zero. Very similar. It's more annoying than it is, like a practical attack. Like literally if you're on like, in an elevator and your phone's like, blah, blah, denial of service, like someone in the elevator is doing it, right? So, you could just, whatever. I'm not super sweaty about this. I do find it interesting. Obviously, you got to patch it. You got to patch it. I would argue from a least use perspective, which I think is AC7. Hold on. My NIST people, hold on. No, AC7's unsuccessful. AC5? Hold on. No. Oh my God. Have I lost my touch? Jesus Christ. What's the least use, man? Hold on one second. Least privilege is on the permissions, but least use is basically like not running services you don't need, including AirDrop. Let's see. What, least functionality, I guess it's called now. CM7. Oh my God. I wasn't even in the right control family.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Seriously, I need to be taken outside and beaten with a hose. All right, here's the deal. If you don't need Google Quick Share running, just turn it off. That's the easiest way to protect yourself, right? Again, I don't think this is more interesting than it is like a real threat we got to get sweaty about. I wouldn't send this out to your end users. This is one of those ones where like, yeah, it's interesting, but you don't want to spend any political capital or brain space on people thinking about this when, if later today something super serious happens, you want to be able to do that. The final thing I want to point out, and I think this is kind of a hidden gem, if you will, Safe Breach Labs. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Safe Breach Labs. To me, it's kind of like a generic name for a security company, whatever. But I will tell you personally, not a sponsor of the show, not a paid endorsement or anything. I know people from Safe Breach. This guy right here, you see this guy on the far left? His name is Auger. He is like 25. He has like multiple CVEs that are like serious Microsoft operating system ones. He's got Black Hat talks. He's just one of the researchers there. I've interviewed him multiple times. I've spent time with him in Vegas. He's a really great guy, but what's important is the work that this company is doing is insane. It's insane. If you've been around Simply Cyber for a while and you've seen his firesides talks with me, you know what I'm talking about. Plus, the guy's facial hair is like ridiculously on point. It's crazy. So, anyways, Safe Breach. I'll tell you, if I see research like this coming from Safe Breach, it's worth checking out. Also, they do a comprehensive work over at Safe Breach. So this demo right here and probably the companion write-up is awesome, I bet. I haven't even watched this demo or read the blog post yet, and I would bet money that matters to me that it is comprehensive, well-written, and thorough in its execution. I bet you anything. Okay, here, I'm going to drop a link to this. What's up, Roswell, UK?
GPT suffered a brief outage on Wednesday. The AI-powered chatbot suffered some issues mid-morning Eastern Time on Wednesday, with users worldwide experiencing failures when asking follow-up questions to answers already delivered. Instead, they encountered the message, quote, something went wrong while generating the response, end quote. The issue was quickly resolved by OpenAI's team. When asked about the outage 24 hours later, ChatGPT itself did not offer a clear cause, but quoted Sam Altman, who attributed the disruptions to, quote, capacity challenges due to a surge in demand for the AI chatbot.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, this isn't a political show, okay? But I will say, yesterday, some big news came out from the U.S. Executive branch, and there's a lot of reporting going on that ChatGPT was heavily used in some of the policy making. So what I would assume is that there was a lot of load on ChatGPT yesterday, just from an uptick in significant user activity, trying to confirm some of these rumors. It's also quite possible people are writing code that executes on the APIs that just got out of control. Think of the Morris worm. Okay, if you don't know, this is a seminal piece of cybersecurity history. It's considered the first true destructive virus or worm, if you want to call it that. It wasn't meant to be destructive, but it literally brought down. I'm not being hyperbolic. I am not being figurative. I am literally, it brought down the literal internet. It brought down the whole internet. I mean, which wasn't very big in 1988, okay? But it was not intended to be malicious, but unfortunately it was. So it's quite possible that people are writing code that just put too much of a demand, too much of a load on ChatGPT. I'm not super sweaty about it. With where we are today, there are multiple... Hold on, we got a wrecking ball? Hold on. Looks like it's Mr. Green's. You don't hold out on me, team. I love wrecking balls. Mr. Green says, hey, wanted to pop on, y'all. I finally got an IT gig. It's not security, but I'm assistive technology IT support for the University of Houston Accessibility Center. You know what, Mr. Green? Way to go, bud. Oh, yeah. Mr. Green straight wrecking ball up in this piece. Nice job, dude. Straight crush it. Keep on going. All right, so ChatGPT. Guys, we have so many AI solutions now. I like Claude. I like Gemini. I used to pay for ChatGPT. I don't anymore. I know the new image generator from ChatGPT is pretty legit. Yeah, so whatever. Here's the thing. Business continuity. If you have all your eggs in one basket and that basket goes down because of load issues, guess what? You got a lot of cracked eggs. Dude, GRC Mafia, where you at? Business continuity planning. There's an entire control family, NIST CP. Okay? Don't sleep on the CP control family. Contingency planning. Oh, let that wash over you in an awesome wave. Oh, yeah. All about, dude, if you, dude, just first timers, you'll never know the pain. Just stay for a couple days. Yesterday, I had a complete DR scenario when I started the show. My audio used to go out periodically. You got to plan for those contingencies. You got to keep the motor running, right? Business continuity. So ChatGPT, you busted. So third-party risk, guys. That's it.
UK's Royal Mail investigates data leak claims. The Royal Mail, the UK's national postal service, is...
Really quickly, SX Boxer says he was acquitted, right? The Morris worm? No. Robert Morris was not acquitted. He was found guilty. As far as I know, he did not serve time in prison, but he was found guilty, as far as I know. And he ended up... I mean, his dad was a leading researcher at MIT, I think. And when the Morris worm hit the government, obviously, the U.S. government was impacted. They called Robert Morris's dad to ask him what was going on. Not that they knew it was his son that did it, but that's how hooked in Robert Morris's dad was. That's who the government called. And then Robert called his dad and said, "Dad, I screwed up." And then it all came to fruition. I don't know if he was kicked out of Cornell where he was a grad student or not, but he's fine. He's fine. He's been like a academic for years at MIT. It's all about, hey, listen, guys, I'm not saying right or wrong. The early 90s, the mid 90s, when in cybersecurity was a different animal, right? Friggin' Kevin Mitnick and that crew. You could do weird things, and they didn't know how to handle it. Okay, anyways, this is a seminal. If you don't know about the Morse worm, definitely Google it or watch like a 5-minute YouTube video on it. It is fascinating, and it shows you the fallibility of humans who write code, because Morse thought he was being clever by having a fail-safe in there, and it actually was the undoing of it.
Looking into a potential security breach after a threat actor, quote, leaked over 144 gigabytes of data, allegedly stolen from Spectos GmbH, which is a third-party company involved in data collection, analytics, and logistics services. Spectos has confirmed in a statement shared with Bleeping Computer that, quote, its systems were breached on March 29th and the attackers gained access to customer data, end quote. This is the second breach incident in the Royal Mail's 500-year history.
Okay. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, I get that, but that's like the biggest spin I've ever heard. The second data breach in its 500-year history, like that's something. Dude, 50 years ago, they probably didn't have any systems. So, I don't think they're going to have a data breach 400 years ago. What year is it here? 2020, 1625, right? I almost feel like Zach De La Rucha, right? 1660, right? Dude, by the way, you youngs, if you don't know about Rage Against the Machine, highly recommend it. Definitely worth checking out. All right, there's not much here for this story. All I will say is for you BSOs and CISOs in chat and you aspiring GRC professionals, this is what's called basically taking bullets or catching strays for you Gen Z people, catching a stray because of third-party risk. Okay, so Royal Mail is the news story, right? The friggin' headline says, Royal Mail investigates data leak. So me and you are talking about Royal Mail and their data breach, but in reality, Royal Mail didn't do anything wrong. This Spectos GmbH, whatever, company that was doing analytics for Royal Mail, they had a problem, okay? So Royal Mail could have been the Fort Knox. Royal Mail could have hired every one of us, right? How many we got here? 360 of us. Royal Mail could have said, listen, Simply Cyber community, you guys are all super dope. We want you to secure our business. And we're like, yes, we absolutely will do that, right? Little Oprah emotes. Like, let's say Royal Mail each gives us $100K, right? $100K each. And we are just one super organization. We do everything right. And then Spectos GmbH just absolutely doesn't invest in cybersecurity, and they get popped and all our data gets leaked. This is why data governance matters, okay? And why third-party risk management matters, and why you need to operate left of boom to make sure when you set up deals with people and you start sending data over, that data is only the data they need to do their job, not all the data. I know it's appealing to hit Control-A, Control-C, Control-V, select all, copy, paste, and fire it over, because you know what? If you send it all, they definitely have what they need, and you can bang out early for a 3 o'clock happy hour start time on a Friday. You picking up what I'm putting down? But guess what? Our job is not easy. That's an easy button, which leads to risk exposure. What you need to do, GRC Mafia, is you need to work with the application or the business owner to figure out, why are they hiring this third-party company? What data does the third-party company need? How are you going to get it to them? What's the third-party company going to do when they no longer need the data? Like, listen, let's say the company is going to do some analysis to figure out something tactical, like whether or not they should change the mail routes, right? They do the work. They figure out that the mail routes are optimized and they don't need to do anything. Project over. Okay, right now you need to delete that data third-party vendor, because there's no reason for you to have it anymore. You do not have a use. This is like kind of like system life cycle, but it's data life cycle. This is the grimy work that no one talks about. This is rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands filthy. you need to follow up, delete the data, make sure they do it, because otherwise you are exposing yourself to like reputational harm, because we're talking about Royal Mail right now, not Spectos GmbH. And who knows, like what's the impact of this, right? May not be that bad an impact based on what the data was, but this is an instance of this problem. For you and your organization, maybe you partner, right? Maybe you are a manufacturing company and you partner with some third party to do payroll, right? And then the payroll company gets breached or whatever, and they have employee information from 20 years ago, which the person doesn't work there anymore. No reason you should keep that data, payroll company, right? And now you're having to spend $1 million sending out identity theft protection or something like that. Just protect yourself, okay? As who said it? Oh my God. Hold on. Protect your neck. Who was that? Oh, it was Wu-Tang. Oh my God. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know that. Like Wu-Tang said, protect your neck. Protect your third-party risk.
CISA adds Apache Tomcat flaw to its KEV catalog. This is in relation to an Apache Tomcat path equivalence vulnerability which became actively exploited just 30 hours after a public proof of concept was released, as we reported in mid-March. The issue, confirmed by researchers at API security company Wallarm, W-A-L-L-A-R-M, is, quote, a path equivalence flaw in Apache Tomcat that allows remote code execution or information disclosure if specific conditions are met, end quote. As with all additions to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, federal agencies must fix this vulnerability promptly, specifically by April 22nd.
All right, Wu-Tang! Oh, man, I love Chappelle. I asked my son, my 13-year-old kid, if he knew who Dave Chappelle is, and he said no. And I almost wanted to cry, and then I realized, wow, there is a ton of content that you have yet to discover that is going to be so funny. All right, so CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, basically, I like to think of them as America's threat intelligence slash SecOps kind of. They're adding Apache Tomcat to its KEV, Known Exploited Vulnerability Catalog. If you don't know about this catalog is dope sick. It's basically a list of vulnerabilities that they know CISA has seen telemetry showing that it's being exploited. Okay, so this isn't a one day soon it's going to get exploited. They're seeing exploitation. So you would want to elevate your response to this, okay? Also, usually there's going to be some IOCs that you can hopefully look at in order to discover. Well, you can go threat hunting in your environment, okay? I'll leave it to you as an exercise. Usually you can go threat hunting in your environment and figure it out. One thing that I do want to point out really quickly is how bad is this? I like to use EPSS now. CVSS scores have traditionally been the way to measure how quickly you should respond to this. I'm trying to figure out what's the CVSS score on this really quickly. Okay, is this the same one? This is the same one. All right, so this has a CVSS score of 9.8, which is pretty much the worst. And in all honesty, I'll give you a quick little insider secret. The score is CVSS 9.8. Typically 9.8 is reserved for really, really bad, but not being actively exploited. The fact that CISA has added it to the known exploited vulnerability catalog indicates that they've seen it. So this score is actually out of date, and the score should be 10.0, which is the absolute worst. I do want to point out, though, the EPSS, I don't know. Eric Taylor just released some type of new EPSS tool, but I forget. He has a couple URLs. I can't remember what it is, but DJ BSEC's got one. Let's use his really quickly because I do not remember Eric's. Justin, if you know Eric's new tool there, let me know. It's got some graphical stuff. So this is pulling results. The EPSS score, basically, is a better gauge, in my opinion, of the EPSS score is a better gauge on how bad is this vulnerability if exploited in your environment. All right. And I like to use that score because 10.0 is really bad. Like you would stop the stream and go fix that. But if it has a very low EPSS score, oh, there it is. Thank you. If it has a very low EPSS score, then it's not a big deal. Holy Jesus. Okay. This one is really bad. This one has an EPSS score of 92.5, which the way you should read this. Oh, Andy Sauer's in chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Sauer, if you're interested in learning about CMMC and GRC in the CMMC space, and just a really cool dude who equally gets passionate and fired up when MFA is not in place, go watch the CMMC interview, Simply Cyber Fireside, yesterday with me and Andy Sauer, or connect with him on LinkedIn. Anyways, the way you should read this is that if you have this vulnerable version of Apache Tomcat in your environment, there is a 92% chance that you will get exploited in the next 30 days. That's how you should read this. On top of that, this percentile right here, this means of the hundreds of thousands of vulnerabilities inside EPSS's database, this one is in the 99. There's very few that are worse than this one as far as impact goes. This is really bad, okay? Really bad. So, what I would say is, come on, let's get back to the actual KEVs. I would absolutely go check this out. It looks like it is, the versions it's affecting are 11 through 11.2, 10.1 through 10.1.3, 9. So basically, certain versions, 9, 10, and 11. Go find out. I would. Here's the problem with this one. Normally, I wouldn't spend as much time on this one, but the impact scores are really high, so I do. What I would say is, it's quite possible you have this version of Apache Tomcat in your environment, and you don't know it because Apache Tomcat oftentimes gets baked into other products. What I would recommend you do is do a little bit of research to see if this is in your environment. If you can vulnerability scan for it, do that. Your internet-facing assets, maybe take a look and sniff to see if you can see if Apache Tomcat, like you can fingerprint Apache Tomcat to see if it's in your environment. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have a quick, dirty answer for you on this one, but I would definitely look into this one. This one feels, okay, I'm not putting this on John Hammond, but this one feels like John Hammond would have like a demo video like today kind of thing, okay? I'm going to spend a little bit more time looking at this one later today. Let's go.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Qualis. Overwhelmed by noise in your cybersecurity processes? Cut through the clutter with Qualis Enterprise True Risk Management. Quantify your cyber risk in clear financial terms and focus on what matters most. Actionable insights help you prioritize critical threats, streamline remediation, and accelerate risk reduction while effectively communicating impact to stakeholders. Empower your cybersecurity strategy with tools that drive faster, smarter, and more efficient risk management. Your secure future starts today with Qualis Enterprise True Risk Management. Visit qualis.com/ETM for more information. That is Qualis, QUALYS.com/ETM.
All right, let's do the mid-roll. All right, love myself some Friday. Hopefully everybody's doing good. We got the bingo going, obviously. Look at all these people in the bingo. Roswell, UK. Roswell, UK's got 2 bingo cards.
Catch me outside. How about that?
So Lara Flores, Jody Hogan, hopefully everyone's doing well. Let's go ahead and just throw a random Carl in there. In case someone had Carl on their bingo card. Guys, I want to thank all of you for being here today. 413 of you. Andy Sauer, a bunch of first-timers like James, Holden Traden, Jay Denson. So good to have everybody here on a Friday. It's been a long week for me personally. I'm happy to... basically, I don't really want to gripe to you guys. I want to stay positive, but it's been a long week for me. Guys, thanks to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Threat Locker, Antisyphon, and Delete Me. Let's do the Delete Me. I told you I was going to put a pin on Delete Me just because I felt like the ads were long today. Delete Me, guys, let me talk about them for a hot minute. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone, including you, vulnerable. Data brokers do make a profit off our data. Your data is a commodity, which we're not getting paid for, right? Look at the Royal Mail story. 144 gigs of data just leaked. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment. But you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. I have children. I only have 2 boys. I couldn't go all in on 3+1 boys or 3+1 kids. But still, 2 kids. I have 2 dogs. I have a wife. I don't want their personal information. I don't want my personal information getting out there. So you can't just hope. Hope is not a strategy. You got to do things to help manage that. That's why I like to use Delete Me. I get a report every month telling me what they deleted. It's pretty sweet. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for everybody who's here right now. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. All right, y'all. We are kind of moving quickly. So let me do this. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Friday is James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet's joke of the week. James wants you to say, it is springtime, right? So why can't you plant spring flowers? Why can't you plant spring flowers, James wants you to know. Why can't you plant spring flowers? Because you haven't bought any. You haven't bought any. Oh, my God. What kind of garden do bakers grow? What kind of garden do bakers grow? They grow flower gardens. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I got to put my hands on my knees for a second with that one, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Finally, James wants you to know, why did the coffee file a police report on April Fool's Day? There's a lot to this one. Why did the coffee file a police report on April Fool's Day? If you guys didn't know, this coffee cup right here, back on April 1st, filed a police report. Do you know why? Because it got mugged. It got mugged. As always, thank you, James McQuiggan. Now, if you can, I need someone to volunteer to do the La 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 La's drum major while Alpha Sierra's out. Let's get our La 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 La's on, everybody. Let's go. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much. Let's get back into it and finish strong.
Juniper Networks and Palo Alto Networks devices in mystery scanning event. The Register is reporting that scanning of login portals for devices made by both companies has increased substantially in recent weeks. Quote, on Wednesday, the SANS Institute's Johannes Ulrich said he noticed a surge in scans for the username T128, which, when accompanied by the password 128troots, is a well-known default account for Juniper's Session Smart networking products, end quote. Internet scanning security firm Grey Noise has also spotted mass probing, in this case directed at the login portals of Palo Alto Network's Pan-OS Global Protect remote access products. They believe, quote, anonymous scanners are searching for exposed or vulnerable products and noted almost 24,000 unique IP addresses attempting to log in over the past 30 days, end quote.
All right, someone's got a botnet. You get a botnet. You get a botnet. Here we go, Oprah. We talked about this yesterday. It's an ongoing thing. It was just Palo Alto's yesterday. It looks like now someone's going up into Juniper as well. These are both enterprise grade, enterprise grade networking solutions, right? We're talking internet facing your main castle gate or castle wall. And someone or some organization, probably an organization, probably feels like a nation state, is basically probing. That, like, the way you should think about this is, this is a really nice neighborhood, right? PAs and Junipers are not cheap; they're expensive, right?
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Andy says, "Have a great Friday and a great weekend." Hey, turn MFA on. I'm with you on that one. All right. Thanks so much, Andy Sauer. Guys, Andy Sauer, again, great person. Definitely check out that show yesterday. Just cool dude. Happy to have him in the community. All right. So anyways, Juniper and PAs are expensive, right? They're high-end devices, right? They're not quite Bugattis, okay? But we are talking like a really nice fully loaded Denali, okay? So you're basically, someone is going into a really nice rich neighborhood and speed running down the street, turning front doorknobs. Front doorknob, front doorknob, front doorknob. No one knows why they're turning the doorknobs. No one knows if they have some special lockpick that they've invented that can, mess with these type of things. All I would say is this level of uptick is either someone who is doing it for the lulz in order to give the illusion that there's something going on, or it's somebody who's trying to rapidly fingerprint these devices, not fingerprint, but enumerate these devices to figure out where they are and what they're doing so they can ultimately get access and exploit. Yes, I would agree. I believe that, to me, this has all the hallmarks of a nation state. Definitely a large team, definitely very deliberate. 128,000 different IP addresses. Like, whatever. Like, you can be cool, right? Flaming Donkey can do what they want, but 128,000 IP addresses is not nothing. Okay, that's major infrastructure, right? Like Flaming Donkey's like,
we've got 32 IP addresses. We're kind of cool, right?
And then whoever this nation state is like, that's cute. Hold my beer. Okay, so I do like the APT threat. I do like that Flaming Donkey has a voice now. All right, all I would say is if you're running PAs or Junipers or really any enterprise-grade technology, make sure the best practices are in place, i.e., it looks like they're just trying to log in right now, so default username and passwords, that's a big no-no. Multi-factor authentication enabled is a big yes. Okay? Do not make it an easy device to compromise. Do not just roll out tech really quick. Do not let people just turn it on. Oh, hey, packets are flying. We're good to go here. Don't let them do that.
Security companies clash over CrushFTP CVE number. This story starts with a critical vulnerability in the CrushFTP enterprise file transfer solution. In short, its own developers alerted customers to the vulnerability, which could have exposed systems to remote hacking. 5 days later, with no CVE number announced, the vulnerability intelligence firm VulnCheck assigned one. However, CrushFTP itself rejected this number, arguing that, quote, the real CVE had been pending, end quote, and 10 days after disclosure, a new CVE was released, this one assigned by Outpost24. This company is a security firm that had been credited for, quote, responsibly disclosing the flaw to the vendor, end quote. The crux
hold on.
This issue was around a suitable delay period intended to keep the vulnerability under wraps to avoid malicious exploitation, something that did not happen, and in fact, according to the Shadow Server Foundation, this exploitation is still continuing. A link to this intriguing story from Security Week, which contains more details and background, is available in the show notes to this episode.
All right. So you don't typically see this, or at least you don't typically hear about this. But it's a race condition. So if I find a vulnerability, right, I'm the new Tyler Ramsby, okay? I got my black shirt on, my black t-shirt, my black hoodie's coming later today, FedEx. So I'm going to have my black hoodie on. I'm all Tyler Ramsby up here, and I'm going to get myself a CVE. Well, once you discover it, there is a process for responsible disclosure, right? This isn't 1995 where you just post it on the internet and be like, "Wow, look at how cool I am." You contact the developers, you let them know that you've discovered a vulnerability, you show them how you did it, and you allow them an opportunity to discreetly fix it before announcing the CV, the vulnerability and the patch and the CVE, and then you get the credit for the CV and all these other things. Now, the issue, not the issue, but the conflict here is that more than one group found the same vulnerability at the same time. And basically, like I said, there's a race condition where, someone got a CVE issued, but a researcher had already submitted it and it was being evaluated. Another thing that you should know about that took me years to find out is that CVE numbers, right? Where's the one that CVE numbers, like this Apache Tomcat one, CVE 2025-24813. These numbers are unique identifiers, right? Hold on 1 second. These numbers are unique identifiers. But there isn't one organization that holds all of them as a choke point, and you have to go through them. Larger organizations like Microsoft and Google and stuff, they get allocated like a block of CVE numbers. And when they find things, they can issue them themselves. And so basically different groups have the numbers, right? So in this instance, it looks like somebody went through one group and the other person went through another group. And the first group was going through a more thorough evaluation, while the second group just said YOLO and issued it. So that's the conflict. Obviously, if you're running CrushFTP, you should be aware of this and patch it, right? You gotta patch it. For me, though, the story and the education and the knowledge learned is around the CVE number issuing process and how a conflict can happen. Yes. Okay. So I had something else to share with you, but I can't remember right now. But anyways, let's go.
France and UK governments meet to discuss commercial hacking tools. Representatives from the two governments are meeting in Paris this month to, quote, tackle the proliferation and irresponsible use of commercial hacking tools known as...
Wow. Okay, listen really quickly, everybody. In chat, please say hello to @IT Career Questions. That's Zach Hill from Antisyphon and IT Career Questions YouTube channel, which I'm sure everybody here knows. Zach Hill, ladies and gentlemen, amazing individual. Looks like he's at KernelCon right now, too, so say hi to him if you're there.
Commercial cyber intrusion capabilities, or CCICs. This summit, the Pall-Mall process, faces the joint challenge of establishing categories and a regulatory process, alongside convincing the other member countries and individual companies to amend their own practices.
All right, hey, really quick, Magwitch passed the SSCP on Tuesday. Magwitch, way to go, straight crushing it like a boss. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Paris whatever. I guess Paris decided they're going to do this. Guys, commercial hacking tools. I mentioned them earlier in the show. Predator, Pegasus is like the most well-known one. Basically, it's spyware that nation states and very well-funded organizations put on targets of interest devices so they can spy on them. And it's considered, like, the reality is it's supposed to be for law enforcement only. But guess what?
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. You got enough money? We'll pretend you're law enforcement, right? Dude, for $500,000 an install, cash talks, baby, right? It might be nice to pretend to be righteous and say law enforcement only, but those 80-foot yachts aren't going to buy themselves, right? I need a vacation in Fiji. Those aren't free. Got to sell. Got to, Matthew McConaughey, Wolf of Wall Street. Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers. So it's turned into like a really gnarly ecosystem of investigative journalists getting infected, rival political opponents getting infected. So, basically this whole thing is supposed to be a summit around the responsible use of these things. Now, what I want to know is just think about the levers that are going on here. I'm a private company. I sell a tool that is very successful at what it does, and it makes me a lot of money. Why? Like you could pay lip service to this, but I don't know how much this is going to impact anything. Interesting too, Israel decided not to join this conversation, even though 2 of the 4 major softwares come out of Israel. And the United States has actually sanctioned some of these companies. Yeah. I don't know what the Pall Mall process is. Okay. NSO Group, who is the one who makes Pegasus out of Israel, they've been engaging with the Pall Mall process. I don't know if this is like the Pall Mall process is getting in the DeLorean and going back to 1988 and then smoking butts. Like, 2 packs of Pall Mall, sweetie. Like, Pall Malls, as far as I know, they're long ciggies. And, if you're going to buy 25-cent Lucy's, you go for Pall Mall because it's more bang for your buck. Dude, I'm old. I know a lot of people in chat are older. Like, cigarettes used to be a thing. I know you youngs have your vape pens and all that other jazz, but cigs were a thing. You used to be able to smoke on airplanes, if you can believe that, okay? Fred Flintstone used to smoke Pall Malls.
Russian state railway suffers cyber disruption. The state-owned railway RZD has reported a cyber attack that temporarily disrupted its website and mobile application. This is the second incident this week for Russia's transit systems following a Monday attack and disruption on the app and website for Moscow's subway system. This RZD attack is being confirmed by RZD officials as a DDoS attack, which meant that ticket sales remained operational at physical offices across stations and terminals. No group has yet claimed responsibility for this attack.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? F around and find out. Oh. Okay. I mean, do you remember this story? Like 2 weeks ago, Ukraine's rail station was disrupted and people couldn't buy tickets in Ukraine for transportation. Russian transportation impacted. Dude, it's a tit for tat thing they're going on. I do want to point out, I was talking to a Ukrainian yesterday, and she told me, she's like, yeah, the train stations, while the trains are still running and everything, like, train is like a major form of transportation for us. She said, nobody wants to fly. Like, we have major airports and stuff, but like flying over an active war zone in a commercial jet that doesn't have any type of defensive capabilities is not something, it's like a risk that she didn't want to take on. So they really do depend on the trains quite a bit. I know Russia, this is probably not impacting Russia's war machine, but like Russia has been long known as fueling their military supply chains using rail. So this is a whole thing, right? Just goes, transportation, I'm pretty sure that's a critical infrastructure, right?
As you know, in the cloud.
Woo, look at that. We kind of speed run this last story. and did that. Let's do this, okay? Really quickly. There we go. Guys, I'm feeling pretty good. It's Friday. Woo! I forgot about cigarette vending machines in the back of pool halls. Dude, I'm feeling good. It's Friday. We got Zach Hill in chat. We got Daniel Lowry in chat. The mods are here. We got Jenny, Kimberly, Palo Alto Unit 42's Casually Joseph has joined us. Justin Gold's in the chat. Guys, it's all about good times. This has been Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief, episode 849. I hope you guys had a great experience. We're still doing bingo, so if your bingo card hasn't hit yet, let me know. Ooh, I see KP's in here. KP, good to see you. Say hi to DP if you would. All right, guys, don't go anywhere because we got Jawjacking. We may have a panel. We don't have any confirmed panelists right now, but we may have a panel, but I will definitely be here. I am here to support you. Remember, a couple things. Number one, if you're just getting here right now, next week, starting on Monday, April 7th through April 10th, there is a 4-day, 16-hour entry-level education cybersecurity training from Antisyphon training for $0. Okay? John Strand, who is over Black Hills and a former SANS instructor, is doing this training. If you have the time and you're hungry for some knowledge, this is an absolute no-brainer. I'll drop a link in chat. You go check it out. And if they ask you where you came from, you tell them Simply Cyber, because we are a force. All right, guys, I also want to let everybody know Daniel Lowry at 10 a.m. is going to be doing, I assume, his IRL. He's been doing it for quite some time. There you go. Look at this guy. Cyber security live stream, IRL. This is him. But that's Daniel Lowry. We got work to do, everybody. We got to do some jawjacking. So do me a favor. If you got to boogie out of here, have a great weekend. But if you want to stay and help out, get your questions answered, let's party. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Let's go jawjacking. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. Hey. How you doing? What's up? Welcome to the party. This is Jawjacking. Go ahead and ask me anything you want. I'm your host for the next 30 minutes, Jerry Guy. As you can tell, have the glasses on. Many of you might be coming hot off the heels from that podcast, Gerald Auger's Daily Cyber Threat. Excuse me, Dr. Gerald Auger. That nerd! Zero. Oh my God. Zach Hill, am I right? This guy, absolute nerd. Not what we're doing in here. We are cool. We are hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
And we are partying. Hey, if you didn't know, this is Jawjacking. It's a 30-minute show where I will answer as many of your questions as I can. I cannot respond to DMs very much, but we have a 30-minute show where I will answer all the questions. Chances are your question is a question that other people have, so by answering it once, everybody gets to benefit. Plus, guess what? Because there's 400 people here, there's a ton of things I don't know about. I'm not an OT ICS expert, but guess what? We have people in chat who are. It takes a community. I'm very proud of Simply Cyber and what it has become. We're here to help. If you got questions, drop them in chat. I will do what I can. If people want to jump on as panelists, let me know and we will get that sorted out. Mod team, please chat. Let me know. Blood, Sweat, and Rage. Blood, Sweat, and Rage wants to know if we can do the regulators. All right. Brews and Hacks, not a question. He did an impromptu recording last night. As I literally just learned about a risk intel resource, I think GRC Mafia would be interested. I'll hustle to drop the vid. There you go. Marcus Kyler, my man, with the quotes. Doctor. Right? Oh, hey, somebody's having a medical emergency on the airplane. Aren't you a doctor? Oh, no, I'm not that. Hey, Roswell UK says, what APT would Josh Mason pretend to be if he had to use Lima Charlie against DJ Bisek at Threat Actor Academy? Whoa, what APT would Josh Mason pretend to be? I think it would be something that has to do with like Air Force and flying. Give me some cybersecurity. I'm asking Gemini threat actor names that would align with a group that is former Air Force, military, and attacks transportation industry. This is just for fun. And let's say, give me 5. Here we go, Roswell, UK. Ooh, Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder.
I'm coming for your transportation industry. We are Rolling Thunder.
All right. Thanks, Roswell, UK. I will let Josh Mason know that his APT name has been selected. Let's keep going. Michael Andruzzi, good to see you. Casually Joseph, my man. Yes, good thing we did have a real doctor in Vegas, huh? Inside joke, Casually Joseph. Such a good story. Let's see. Just you on the panel today? Yep, Daniel Lowry. Nobody wanted to play. If you want to hop on here, Daniel Lowry, and get your audio check sorted out, would love to have you. Be nice to have you. We could talk about your IRL. We could talk about whatever you want to talk about. You could shred on your guitar. You could crack a Monster Energy. Random X says, how many tablespoons do you use per 1 cup of coffee? Trying to switch from Monster to coffee. So Random X, I used to be way more diligent about this, but what I do is I make a French press every single morning. The French press is the size of my head for size. I put 8, not teaspoons, but like, you know how in your drawer you have large spoons that adults use and then small spoons, which you might use for kids or for stirring. I use the small spoon and I do 8, not heaping scoops, but 8, liberal scoops of coffee, and I throw them in there. And then I get the water to the perfect temperature right below boiling, and then I pour it on there. All right. Funky Monk says he saw the Windows key R Control V in the wild. Is there a legitimate use case for this? No, not really. I mean, where you would get a random message to do that. You might have IT support jump in and do that in order to get group policy or something like that, or do something. But for the most part, you wouldn't ask an end user to do that. Let's see. Daniel, hold on. Do I have Daniel Lowry in DMs? Hold on a second. Daniel, I don't see you in DMs on. I'm not cool enough to be DM friends with Daniel Lowry, but I would send you the link, but I don't have you. TG Artist says, trying to apply for pen tester job. I saw an associate job posting they require 1 industry standard cert. What do you think? Well, I mean, dude, if you want to speed run it, get the Pen Test Plus. I don't have that. I'm not a red teamer, or I'm not offensive. But, to me, a Pen Test Plus is probably the quickest way to get 1 industry standard cert. Let me know in chat if people think that a better answer, but if you want a harder one, but one that would have more clout, PNPT from TCM Academy or OSCP, which is based on what I've seen, PNPT is probably better. But OSCP has more industry clout right now from a hiring perspective, right? Just like Sec Plus. All right. Looks like we're going to get some panelists in here, which is wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and pivot my camera in preparation for this. You get to see the whole studio. All right, let's go. Code Brew is giving the insights. Now, you know Code Brew's legit. He's got an ASCII art coffee cup. If Mad Destroyer's in chat, Mad Destroyer is probably the most erudite coffee person I know. 60 grams of coffee per 1 liter of water if you're a true coffee nerd. There you go, Code Brew. I'd love to have some coffee with Code Brew when he comes down to the low country. Tech Grunt says, just learned about CompTIA AI Essentials course. Do you think that stackable cert paired with Sec Plus is a benefit for someone? Yeah, so Tech Grunt, I don't know. I always say this about certifications. Certifications are as valuable as the market says they are, right? So if no one's hiring because of that, then it doesn't really have value. But in this one instance, because AI is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right
because
now.
Because AI is so hot and so moving quickly, getting it on your resume is pretty good, right? I would add that to your resume. So, I don't know what Casually Joseph or Daniel Lowry are doing. I don't know if they're joining. Rich464, what's your most wild travel story? On Wednesday, I was at the airport for 18 hours with 2 kids. It was a comedy of errors. Made it to Houston. Excited for the wedding tonight. Rich464, dude. Hey, if I had a 40 of OE right now, I'd pour a little bit out for you. 18 hours with 2 little kids is insanity. I will tell you, my most wild travel story is it's the old Jerry. It's before I became responsible. I have a story that I'm not sure I want to tell on stream. It would probably destroy what you think of when you think of me. Looks like we've got a panelist coming in here. My man, you know him as Daniel Lowry. He goes by Daniel Lowry. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Lowry. Good to see you, Daniel.
Hey, what's up, Jerry? Oh, man. Like, I stepped away from your chat for a minute, right? I come back and I see Jawjacking started, and I'm like, that's just Jerry. Where's everybody else? So I was like, where's everybody? And you're like, I'm going solo today. So I'm like, cool, send me the link. As soon as you said, let's get Daniel the link, my youngest daughter comes in crying, telling me my oldest daughter hit her. Oh. I said, well, go get her, right? She comes in, she's crying. She was hitting me first. And then my wife, who's at a conference, she calls me like, I'm trying to get the restream. Joseph's sending me the restream. I was like, why does everything explode as soon as you're like, hey, let me jump online?
Yeah. Dude, I got to tell you, like, perfect example. I'm glad that you got it all sorted out, Daniel. And thank you for joining me on the panel.
Of course.
It's so funny. Like, guys, obviously, and I mean this with all due respect, okay, just stating an obvious, you'll notice the gray in Daniel's beard. You'll notice mine's kind of cut down, but there's gray there. If you have been around, if you have gray in your hair, you most certainly have had a tech demo fail, or you've had some type of like production issue something go down. It always happens at the worst time. Share your stories in chat, but like, listen, like what just happened to him, 100%. Yeah, Daniel, I don't know if you caught yesterday's show. I literally hit go live and then played the intro song, and then my entire computer froze. I had no keyboard, no mouse. I couldn't alt tab, nothing. I had to do a hard reboot, and I was like, yeah, of course. Here we go.
Damn, Murphy, that son of a gun. If I ever meet him in the street in a dark alley somewhere, he's going down. He's going down. My friend Mel used to say Murphy's Law, the simplest way to explain Murphy's Law is that the probability that the pizza will land sauce side down is directly correlated to the whiteness of the carpet.
Yes, 110%. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Daniel, do you have a wild travel story by chance?
A wild travel story? Probably not. I mean, other than being stuck in airports and stuff, that's about as wild as it gets. And me turning into a giant rage monster because of it, because that kind of thing tends to get under my skin a bit.
Yeah. I hate the anxiety of not making your flight. You know what I mean? Actually, I got a decent one. The one that I want, I have a really, really bad one, but I will tell people in person only if they ask me. I can't say it on stream. It's like outrageous. It would horrify you. But I will tell you, 2 years ago in Vegas, I tried to fly out at like 4 a.m. and something had fallen, like something large and metal had fallen, and Las Vegas Air Force police believed that it was a bomb that went off. And for like, I mean, I haven't seen this level of pandemonium in an airport ever. And I needed to get out because like I wanted to catch my flight. It like they almost like suspended TSA like to allow people to get through. You couldn't tell if you were supposed to go up to get through security or down. I tried to offer like literally I like was cutting people in line. I had to check a bag. I literally went up. I thought I had to go up an escalator. I went right to the person who was right before the front of the escalator. And I said, dude, I'll give you $100 to cut you right now. And his girlfriend or wife next to him was like, make it $2,500. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, like, I'm one person. Let me just get on the escalator. And he's like, nah, dude, not going to do it. I'm like, whatever. He's like, 2,500. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I went to the other escalator and I literally just did something that made me totally uncomfortable. I just went up to the escalator and just stepped in front of the person who was about to get on and pretended they weren't behind me anymore, even though they were like definitely pissed. And then I stepped on the escalator and like, at that point, they're like, ah. So, whoo, yeah.
Yeah, well, I like that, man. Ric Flair, that's right. Yeah. I think my worst one was I got stuck in Colorado Springs Airport. We were waiting for the plane to board. It had gotten a little snowy that night, so it dropped in temperature. But it wasn't so bad that they couldn't take off. Other planes were taking off just fine. And then there's a delay, and we're like, okay, what's going on? Then they're like, the batteries on the plane are dead. Because how cold it got, it killed the batteries. I guess that's the thing that happens. Like, all right. And there are no other batteries available in all of Delta Airlines.
Of course.
And I'm like, that seems like, 2 is 1 and 1 is none kind of idea going on at Delta. Good to know. Like you say, hope is not a strategy. You can't hope that we have enough batteries for everyone. We must have a strategy that we have enough batteries for everyone. They didn't do that. And then we waited there all day. They said, well, we're going to have to put everybody up. They put us in the Hilton. So we went to the Hilton, stayed the night. I was supposed to be back at work the next day. Then we go back there in the morning. They say, cool, everything's ready to go. Get on the plane. We all get on the plane. They're like, hey, everybody, you know how you got on the plane? Let's get off the plane. So they deplane us. We sit and we wait. They say, we're good to go. Everybody get on the plane. They're like, ha, fooled you again. Get off the plane. So we get off the plane again. I am now ready to like eat the plane.
Yeah. Kool-Aid man through the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. I am insanely angry. So they finally plane us again and they fly us to Atlanta. We get to Atlanta and we miss our connection because it was jacked up, right? So we got to stay the night there in Atlanta. We wake up the next morning. It's snowing in Atlanta. And delay. I did not leave Atlanta until that evening. Did not land. I was living in Gainesville at the time. Did not land in Gainesville until that evening, which is only an hour flight. Damn, I could have drove it. They just give me a car.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's like 4 hours. Oh, anyway, that was the worst plane experience I've ever had. That's my horror story.
That is a good one. You've actually, I want to keep answering questions, but if you guys remind me next week or whatever, I actually forgot one. I was on a plane that landed in a Chilean military base, and they couldn't deplane us because you had to go through customs. It was an emergency landing, and the air conditioner wasn't working. People were getting super pissed. The pilot, well, I guess I am going to tell the story. The pilot had to come out. The pilot punched a passenger in the head because the passenger was being like out of control. And like the resolution was to basically fight like the pilot. I mean, it wasn't much of a fight. The pilot just punched him
as
in
you
the head.
do, Jer.
Right. It was crazy. Hey, so there was a question that came through a minute ago. A guy wants to be a pen tester and he needs at least one standard industry cert. I said Pen Test Plus. Some people in chat said I wouldn't consider that an industry standard. I don't really know. You're offensive, Daniel. You know, if you were going to get one industry cert for pen testing, what would you do?
I mean, at this point, it's the OSCP is still probably the most recognized. But ultimately, like that's gonna you got to think about how you're looking at your job hunt, right? You say, okay, I want to be a pen tester, and I'm gonna plant my flag on a cert. Well, it's now if you say I'm gonna go get OSCP or I'm gonna go get Pen Test Plus or whatever, you're kind of like starting to pigeonhole yourself to the jobs that are specifically looking for that. If that's on an ATS resume kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of jobs out there that are fine with a certification that covers that. Like we have started to really that, at least from what I've seen in job, because I like to haunt Indeed and Dice and all that stuff to kind of see what's going on, what is being looked for. So obviously, so we can continue to tell people what are the relevant things. And it used to be like OSCP. You mean OSCP. Sometimes it was CEH. You know, they were very specific. You need the OSCP or don't waste our time kind of idea. And now it's like a pen testing certification that is recognized by the community. Like we have kind of evolved a bit. Thank goodness that has happened, where you don't necessarily. That's why Pen Test Plus is fine. Like, and honestly, Pen Test Plus has done a really good job of like covering things that a lot of the other certs don't. There's PNPT from TCM, right? That's a great cert that has gotten a lot of traction in the recent years, a lot of recognition. It's definitely an up and comer. Go and check out the stuff from Hack the Box. What you need to do is just pick one that is going to show that you can follow the bouncing ball, spend the time of study, get the certification that proves that you learned some things. And it's just one piece of the puzzle. It is not the easy button to pen testing jobs, because there's plenty of people that are pen testers that I know that don't have a single cert to their name.
Yeah.
Right. So is it a good thing to do? Absolutely. Go ahead, get a cert, pick one. If you think OSCP is the best place to invest your money, then that's fine. It's a good one, right? There's a lot of people that don't like offensive security anymore for some of the business practices or the way that they've started treating their cert or how they're doing their pricing and what you get, like, and that's fine, right? If you don't like the way the cert is done, or there's people out there, getting that cert is going to get you just as many haters as it is going to be like, oh yeah, that's a great cert. I'm so glad you got it. I still think that's probably the apex predator as far as certs go. That's just the hard truth of it, like offensive security or not.
Yeah. And you got to remember, to Daniel's point, and then I see the questions coming, and we're going to answer those questions. To Daniel's point, you got to remember, there is what us as practitioners feel is the right cert or the cool one, or like I personally, I don't have any love for EC Council. Okay. And that's just a personal thing. I won't get into why and everything.
Agree.
Yeah, and Daniel agrees. And that's how like a lot of practitioners feel. But guess what? HR aren't practitioners. The DoD aren't practitioners. So like if a company is saying, we want you to have this cert and we'll hire you, guess what? It doesn't matter if we think it's cool or not. It's the cert you need. So you've got to separate how we feel about it versus how the market is perceiving it and what they're asking for. So some questions coming in. This is really good. These are really tactical ones, so I'm going to do this really quick. Terrence Tech said, what's the link for that beginner course from Black Hills? I'm going to share that right now on chat, okay? And let me get the whole Chrome here. This is it right here. This is April 7th through 10th with Antisyphon training. I have taken 2 of John's classes in the past. I actually have videos on the Simply Cyber YouTube channel, full deep dive. If you want to see what it is, there's no paywalls or anything like that. This course is $0, okay? Or you can pay whatever you want. If you want to pay $0, that's fine. John himself will send out communications on exactly how to get to the pay $0 option. This isn't like a trick or anything like that. So who asked that? Terrence Tech. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So Terrence is there. And then as a follow-up, Jovian Jackson said, I'm a truck driver looking to switch careers. Is your course for beginners with no IT experience at all? Now, Jovian, you said your courses. So this is Antisyphon training. I have Simply Cyber Academy. What I will tell you is, to answer your question, my courses are the ones that are designed for beginners are in fact beginner friendly. This is the course most people know me for and think about, GRC Analyst Masterclass. I actually have an entire module around learning networking, operating systems, basic stuff that you would need to know. If you're talking about this course, all of John's courses are designed for beginners deliberately. Okay. Now, there'll probably be concepts and terminology that you don't know, but guess what? Welcome to the party, pal. You've got to start somewhere. You've got to just dive in head first. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. Looks like we've got another panelist joining us. Ooh, this is nice. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from his EPSS lookup tool that's recently just launched in his Fortify 365 solution. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Forensics Officer at Barricade Cyber, one Eric Taylor.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Eric Taylor?
What's
up,
going
Eric? Good to
on,
have
Mr.
you.
Lowry? Good, good, man. I'm actually getting ready to push up some new code.
Ooh.
So
On Friday.
On
It's a
Friday.
bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
Let's get
Dude,
it.
read-only Friday goes away in our industry.
You know what? I really should put that sounder on the board. That's one for the board, I think.
I think it is. I think it is.
All right. So Roswell UK said Flipper Zero worthwhile or just a toy. I do want to say Agent 57 said if you do hardware hacking, it can be useful, and but otherwise it's a toy. I own one. I think it's a toy. I'm also not offensive. Security Pro. Daniel, really quick thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. It's just depends on honestly, pen testing can be a toy, right? It can just be fun. So if you want to do that, I mean, go get you a Try Hack Me or Hack the Box account or Phone Lab or whatever, and get buck wild, have fun. It is a lot of fun to do, and you can itch that side of your brain that finds that thing interesting. And it's the same thing with a Flipper Zero. If you're really interested in wireless technologies and what you can do with a Flipper Zero as far as having fun with it, then by all means, it's totally worth the money. If you are a pen tester and you're doing physical engagements or wireless assessments, stuff like that, and you need to be, RFID badge cloning, and it's like, oh, cool, I can do all sorts of things with this. It does become a handy item that you might want in your kit. I think that it looks like a toy, and that's probably where the question comes from, is because we tend to hear with our eyes kind of thing. We tend to think with what we see. I'm reminded of that Frank Abagnale thing, that Catch Me If You Can movie, and his dad's like, why do the Yankees always win? Because they got Mickey Mantle? No, because they wear those pinstripe. Everybody's looking at those pinstripe suits, right? It's a cover. It makes you feel and think in a certain way. So you look at this thing and it looks like a Tamagotchi from back in the late 90s.
Oh yeah.
And you go, oh, it's a toy. But inside of it is a lot of really cool tech. Like if you tried to build a Flipper Zero from a Raspberry Pi Pico or whatever, and you'd pack a lunch, because it's going to take a lot of coding and a lot of time, and a lot of extra hats and stuff to put this thing together to make that toy. And it's all about what you want to use it for. It can definitely be a legitimate and it is a legitimate piece of kit for people that do pen testing in that space. So,
well, I hope the question was genuine, because Roswell UK also got bingo. So congratulations, Roswell UK, on getting bingo. So we will assume that it was a legit question. So all right. Eric Taylor, you recently made this tool, EPSS Lookup. It looks like you may have actually just done some updates to it.
I'm getting ready to push it here in just a moment, trying to get in on the back end.
All right, cool. And we used it live on stage, live on show earlier today. You could see here. This was like a really nice tool.
Yeah, I actually uploaded the image to Mod Chat. So what we're getting ready to, right now, it doesn't accept a variable in the URL. So that code is being changed. Plus, I'm adding more details, like when it was first released, and reference links and stuff like that. So again, I posted that link or the image in mod chat. So
Okay.
we'll get that pushed up here momentarily.
Yeah, here it looks like this is the update. It's a little bit more intel around this. A nice little tool. I used it on stream today. I'll probably continue to use it. So thank you, Eric, for the community contribution.
Yeah, it's like if you learn how to code and make your own tools, you could share this with the community, and it becomes like an interesting and useful tool for everyone. Huh? That's a weird thing. I never thought of that kind of conceptually before. Maybe we should start telling people that.
Yeah, could be a good opportunity to network and.
I need some tags that say facetious or sarcasm. I need sarcasm tags.
Dude, you like the more you know, it just needs to be facetious.
Yeah.
Hey, TG Artist has a question, Eric Taylor. He's got a $350 laptop he's working on. He wants to know what would be a good pen testing machine. He wants to get offensive, I guess, go client side. What do you recommend for a pen testing rig? And
I mean, that would work if I'm going to make a massive assumption here, because the way that the question is phrased, he's just getting into it. I would personally recommend just getting a Kali Linux distro, spinning it up. It's literally going to have most of your tools. Daniel Lowry, working for Black Hills and, teaching, he can attest to this very well, that most of those tools you'll never use, but it's really good to find out the tools that you like and the way that those operate and function. That way it just vibes with you. Like, there's so many Python scripts to make and do the same tool, but it really depends on your style, your workflow, your mindset on the outputs and everything like that. So I would say spin up a Kali, mess with all the different tools there, and see what works for you.
There you go. I love it. Thanks for the question, and thank you, thank you, Eric, for your response. Let's see. Continuing here, I don't see any other questions right now. So if you have any questions for the panel, there's a lot of experience up on this panel right now to be able to answer any and all your questions. Daniel, how's you got any travel coming up, conferences, places people can high five you?
Yeah, next month, right? Or are we in April? We're in April, right?
Yep.
I think it's this month. B-Sides Tampa. I will be at B-Sides Tampa, which is going to be awesome because B-Sides Tampa is a really, really well done B-Sides. It's last year, I think there was around 2,000 people there.
Okay.
So it's decent size, plenty of vendors, good venue, great talks were there last year. I mean, literally my favorite concert, and Black Hills, I love you guys. I love our shirts, but damn, they had some serious shirt game last year. I love that. Yeah,
their shirt you're actually wearing. Hold on really quickly. This is Daniel Lowry, the guy right next to me here. He actually is doing a live stream at 10 a.m.
That's it.
He's wearing the shirt in this video, which I know it's hard to see because it's covered up a little bit, but it's a Stranger Things looking thing. It's kind of an 80s vibe. It's very cool. It's
like they melded the Goonies with Stranger Things, because you can see at the top it's all the kids, the silhouette. I've got a Goonies shirt that's very similar to this. But I met the artist there, and he was selling art, and they had an art giveaway. His art was amazing. And then I was running into so many people there, and I had such good hallway con that it was almost better than the actual con because of the people I was meeting, the contacts I was making. I ran into this guy, Jacob Swinzinski from Dark Wolf Security. Him and his colleague Hannah, they were giving a talk on doing Android exploit development, and he was like 25. He looks like a damn male model. I hate him. He's smart.
Like Strand male now.
Yeah, man. He comes in. He's got this chiseled jawline. Like you say, the beard was on point, and he goes, "Man, I got started watching your videos." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." He's like, "No, man. If it wasn't for your videos, that's what helped me get some of my foundational knowledge. And then I took college courses, and then I got my first job with Northrop Grumman. and then decided pen testing wasn't for me and got into exploit dev. I'm like, how the hell did you get into exploit dev? He's like, oh, I just thought, this will be more interesting. So I taught myself C++ and started learning how to write like the APK stuff for Android. And then got into looking for exploits and creating exploits. I'm like, dude, your story is amazing. So I've interviewed him. I've had him on a couple of times. Super smart. He has a great GitHub. I forget. I think it's, if you just look up Jacob Swinzinski on like LinkedIn, he's gonna have a great. I always like to pump him because he was like a great example to me of someone who was like, I'm just gonna do this. There you go, Jacob Swinzinski, Swiss Security.
He is handsome.
Right? It's ridiculous how attractive that kid is.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, excellent story. I mean, hallway con networking, just putting in the work and how it can go. Like, don't try to over solve your cyber career journey on day one, right? Just keep walking in the right direction. What I will tell you as an inspiration for this story is what I would advise you not to do, like definitely try the buffet, right? Like try a little bit of everything, but once you start moving in a direction, don't necessarily stop and then turn and go. Like if you take 8 steps in every direction, you're going to be right where you started. So just be careful with that. And thanks, Daniel, on that. Question coming in from Jay Denson, who is a first timer today. What area of cybersecurity would you take a top secret security clearance to? He's in a bachelor's program, joining the National Guard. So a couple things. One, if you already have a top secret clearance, that's wonderful. Obviously, where I would take that is into the U.S. government, right? Obviously, there's a couple places. Immediately, my 2 thoughts are, well, 3 thoughts. One, you could do NSA, right? They do all sorts of like tip of the spear stuff, operations. If you want to be offensive in your work, they definitely are doing that national security type stuff. Also, you could get on with private sector contractors, like the big ones like Northrop Grumman, Booz Allen, Deloitte, but then work on highly classified DoD projects from a either SecOps or a GRC perspective. So depending on like where you want to take your career, those are like the options I would immediately give you with that clearance. That clearance is very desirable as well. So, all right.
That's not an easy thing to get for like just a standard U.S. citizens. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get my top secret clearance. It's like, how much time you got? Because that's going to take a hot minute. You basically hit the easy button by joining the military.
Yeah.
And they go,
you have to be sponsored. Yeah,
exactly. I was going to say,
you can't just go get it. Like someone has to sponsor you. It's a thing. I had security. I mean, I'm as, milk toast as you get. I didn't like having a clearance. I felt, I didn't like the pressure of it, but, all right. What do you guys think about Greenbone? What's that?
You said though, you didn't like the pressure of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think about Greenbone? So I use Greenbone at the Citadel for my vulnerability management lecture and labs. Greenbone, or OpenVAS, as you may know it, is a open source free vulnerability scanner. It looks like it's a free vulnerability scanner. A lot of clip art going on there. I've never really tested it for efficacy. Every time I've ever used a vulnerability scanner, I've had budget. So, like not to throw money around, but like Nessus Tenable is not that expensive. You can get a license for like $3,000. It's the reporting that they charge you an A load for, which is super annoying because then you have to use like Power BI and do it yourself. But do you guys, Daniel, you have thoughts about OpenVAS or Greenbone?
Yeah, I've used it myself because it's if you're like, hey, I'm new to vulnerability assessment or running a vulnerability scan, and I need hands-on experience with something, or at least to get the idea conceptually in my head, and maybe even a little bit of tangible experience, then Greenbone's a great option. That's what I like about it is it does work. It does do the job. Like you said, it looks like, you bought it at Five Below, but it still does the thing that you need it to do. It runs a scan, it gives you a report, you get all the information, there's CVSS scoring, there's all the stuff. You can generate all the stuff that you're looking to do. You can say, I want to schedule scans to run at this time. I want to be able to, it has all the bells and whistles. It's just not the prettiest bell at the ball. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have, the updates to it and stuff can get a little janky. I've run into some issues with that before. So yeah, it's bubblegum, tie wire, and duct tape that does work to a great extent. That said, you can also go download Nessus and get a free trial version of that's mostly functional. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think it's last time I checked, you could do up to like 16 IP addresses, and it was the full suite, but it didn't have any of like it would allow you just to scan as like a basic or advanced scan. You couldn't do like the shell shock scan or a PCI compliance scan or
The great thing about that though is like if you really want to kind of like spin up your own thing and really do a bunch of vulnerability scanning and kind of go deep down the rabbit hole, you can use Greenbone for a lot of that. But if you want to say, I need experience with Nessus because that's what people use, then you're going to want to go get Nessus and then run that trial version out and then spin up a new VM and run that trial version out, then spin up a new VM and run that trial version out and get your experience that way, which is probably the better way to go. If you're like, I'm going to get into this part of the business, so just go grab your free copy of Nessus, get it installed, set up a virtual network of vulnerable machines so that you can get some, grab like Metasploitable and like BWAP and Juice Shop and crap like that. Throw it in there, grab some stuff from Vuln, whatever it is you want to do. Build an Active Directory, maybe use a game of Active Directory if you've got the horsepower for that. And have this thing scan it because that's going to give you having Nessus under your belt, being able to put Nessus hands-on experience with Nessus in your resume. That's going to be a lot more impactful.
Yes, 100%. Good, great advice as always. I mean, that's why we have these panels, is to give you guys help and guidance. Eric, we got a very targeted question for you. Kerry wants to know, I guess he's looking at doing UX work. So what do you think of UX design as a way to help you get into IT? It says it, but I'm assuming he means IT.
I'm not your Huckleberry on this. I don't know a thing about UX design, sir. I'm sorry. I mean, UX, for those who don't know that are maybe new, UX design is literally the GUI, the graphical interface for end users. Like the most UI I've ever done, like EPS lookup tool is literally HTML code because I suck at coding. The most advanced thing I've ever done is PowerShell graphic UI. Like I'm not a UX designer. I'm sorry. That's
okay. I mean, he targeted you for the question, so I would let you answer. I will provide thoughts on this if that's okay.
Please.
So, Kerry, what I would say on this one is, if you think about UX design, that's more about human experience with the tool itself, which is more of a design, more of a creative thought process, more, I don't want to call it marketing, but it's less about how the solution works and what's going on under the hood, and more about the interface between the human and what, do they enjoy it, right? So think of like really crappy, like tools that suck, that are like awkward to use. You're trying to figure out where to go, like Linux in 1995, right? Like that kind of thing. Trying to get the printer to work with freaking cups, right? That's a horrible experience. Having said that, I wouldn't advise that UX design is an on-ramp into IT. You will be working with developers. You'll be talking to end users about, when you look at this graph, what do you think it means? So maybe from a GRC perspective, you could develop your communication skills. That's more cyber than IT. IT people typically don't want to interface with end users. They just want to do their job and be left alone.
Get ready for people to tell you your baby's ugly.
Yes. Yeah. And you got to have thick skin because that's going to happen. Yeah. All right. Any chance we get blessed with Simply Offensive Podcast, that would be so hot. So really quickly, for those who don't know, I actually had an entire show called Simply Offensive. It was fully developed with Red Siege, and it just never got over the hump. Nothing bad about Red Siege. I love the people at Red Siege. I think they really like Simply Cyber. It's just we couldn't connect. That Red Siege is not a very big company. You may not know this. They present as a very large company, but I think they only have like 10 or 12 employees. So they are very busy. They're doing lots of stuff. So we couldn't really get Simply Offensive off the ground. Now, if you're talking about another show and just calling it Simply Offensive, Reed, we could certainly explore that. I do want a red focused podcast on Simply Cyber. In fact, I'm actually in conversations right now with somebody, I can't tell you who has a really well-known, award-winning offensive security focused podcast who I talked at Zero Trust World, who wants to move it onto Simply Cyber. And I sent him some emails. I'm waiting to hear back from this person. No, nothing more than that. I don't want to tease anymore.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. I have a question. I'm working a startup company, and my previous role was InfoSec at a big company with frameworks and processes. Any advice for me? All right, here we go. So check it out. This question we could go around the horn on. So first of all, big companies have structure, okay?
Yeah.
Startups do not. Startups are moving fast, breaking things, wearing
the Wild West.
Yeah, it's very Wild West. And it's not just that it's a small business. You can be a small business and have some structure. Startups are like a different, like they are
It's
literally...
all about maturity, right?
Huh?
It's all about maturity.
Right. You know what I like to think of? When I think of a startup company, I think of a plane. This is so insane that this comes to my mind, but I think of a fighter jet taking off, okay? And imagine that it's leaking gas and someone's lit the gas line and you're trying to fly faster than the friggin' fire running up the gas to blow up your fighter jet. Like you're trying to fly faster than that.
You know what that reminds me of? This reminds me of, for some reason, the Stephen King's Langoliers, when they're trying to get off the ground and take off the plane before the whatevers catch up. Like that instantly made me think of that movie.
Yeah. So,
hey guys, I got to bounce to get ready for my show, but thanks for having me on, Jerry. A pleasure. Thanks everybody for watching.
Heck yeah. And we will go. Remember, everybody, this guy right here, this beautiful man right here, he's going to be live streaming even more at 10 a.m. So in just 15 minutes, we'll go over and raid you, Daniel Lowry. I'm so polite. I like to tell people when they're going to get raided and not just do it. So.
Well, I will see you there. Thanks, Jerry. See you then.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on. All right. So anyways, to your question, Jupiter, what I would say is, one, I would focus on the high value risk things, like get MFA in place. Try to educate the team on best practices and stuff. Being a startup doesn't necessarily mean having small headcount. So just don't try to roll out like an SSP and like a 6-month enterprise risk assessment. Like just you have to move quick and pivot too. So definitely MFA. Try to get EDR solutions or anti-malware at least on people's systems, and just ride the lightning, dude. Startups are fun. They're pretty stressful. You also will most likely be working more than 9 to 5. All right. Any thoughts, Eric?
I think you rounded that pretty well.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's keep looking at the questions. We got a couple more minutes. We are going to run this right up till 10 so we can raid Daniel. Hold on. Am I missing a meeting right now? Hold on one second.
Probably.
Nope. I am. Well, I actually tasked myself to do some work in this 30-minute window, so I'll have to reschedule that work. Let's keep looking at the questions. Tech Grunt said, did someone ask for a raid? That's right. We will be raiding. Monster Emotes will be in here. Brexy says, startup's a monster. You can't hinder them. Yep. Exactly. Building the plane while you're flying. Yes, that's 100%. Startup life. Let me see. I'm just looking here for questions in chat. There you go.
I'm updating my change log right now, so
No problem. Kerry says he does have art skills and can be creative. No, I mean, you're not screwed. Just if you have the skills, Kerry, then do it. Like, that could be a very rewarding, enriching career, So
I wonder if Fiverr or some of those freelance sites may be good for him to, cut his teeth on and just be able to do some stuff.
Possibly. Definitely worth looking in. Let's see. John has a question. Hey, have you guys heard of Josh Madakor? He's doing some big things and offering people real access to real cyber environments with Tenable. I have heard of Josh Madakor. He's a YouTuber, content creator. I've watched a couple of his videos. He's very good. He's helpful. He's interested in helping people. I haven't talked to him personally. I've tried to reach out to him. It's never worked out. So I can't speak to him as a personal individual. But his content is very good. He's definitely in that helping people break in space. So John, he gets my thumbs up, if you were asking. All right, so let's see. We got a couple minutes. 12 minutes. Eric, you smoking any meats this weekend?
I'm debating about trying to get some brisket on. Depends if I can get to the butcher today.
All right. Yeah. So if you didn't know, Eric Taylor, when he's not thwarting threat actors, he's smoking meats, which is always all about good. Hopefully everybody's got hobbies and things that they can do to decompress a little bit. I'm excited. The week after next, I've actually got a fishing trip that I'm super excited about. It was actually the meme of the week this week. I've never really fished, so I'm hoping to get a picture of me holding a fish that I caught. Of course, it's like a cheat code because the guy who's taking us out on the charter knows exactly where to go, knows exactly what bait to use. Like, basically, all I have to do is stand there with the rod, and then I caught a fish. So, but I'm okay with that. Small steps. Oh my God, I just got a picture of brisket in Mod Chat, and Kimberly can fix it. Like, I haven't had breakfast today, and this picture of meat is looking pretty good.
Oh no, that's too soggy. Like that. No, that they have not let that rest.
Don't hate. Don't hate this to me, Eric.
They need that low the rest a little bit.
Yeah. So what is today? April 4th. So listen, if you guys are wondering, I'm doing a Lunch and Learn series. Our webinar on April 15th next week at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be very practical. It's going to be how to audit, like how to do audit. And I'm going to use CIS 18 as the framework that I'm going to show you how to audit. So if you're wanting to pick up a GRC skill, come join us on April 15th on the Simply Cyber YouTube channel at 1 p.m. The Lunch and Learn series, it's once a month, it's 1 hour, it's a live webinar, and it's designed to give you at least one practical skill. And I'm super excited to be the person doing it on April 15th. There will be tons of communications out there. There will be smoked meats at Simply CyberCon. You know what? 266 people is hardcore long-timers in chat. Let me share with you if you guys want an update on Simply CyberCon. Simply CyberCon, I can tell you now the dates are pretty much locked. Okay, Eric Taylor is out. Bye. Eric, was that a misfire or do you want to...
No, I was trying to step back so that way you just had the full screen to talk about Simply. I was being respectful. Okay. That's all.
I'll bring you back on.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time. All
right, so Simply CyberCon, if you didn't know, we do a conference every year. This is last year's website or whatever you want. This will get updated as we get closer. It is a community initiative. There are talks. There's going to be trainings this year. But what I want to tell you is as we're slowly, leveling it up or whatever you want to call it, we had to get the dates first because the dates are super important. The dates are now locked in. And I wouldn't book the flight yet because I still have to do one thing. But November 2nd, which is a Sunday, and November 3rd, which is a Monday. The second will be training. It'll be, all day training. There's going to be 4 training tracks. One is blue, one is red, one is GRC, and one is OSINT. You get to, pick one of those. That training will be paid training, okay? Separate from the talk tracks and stuff. So there's the training on Sunday, and then on Monday is the conference. 2 tracks, a chill out room, vendor hall, lockpick village. CFPs will go out. We'll do it similar to we did last year. It'll be live streamed. It's going to be at the Marriott downtown Charleston. We're getting blocks of rooms as well for people. The training will be done at the Citadel in a brand new facility. It's where I actually teach. And it's a brand new state-of-the-art facility. It was built 2 years ago. It's super tight. And because I'm leveraging that I work at the Citadel, I was able to save us $40,000. I'm not even exaggerating, $40,000. So thank you, Citadel, for hosting us and allowing me not to give the Marriott another $40,000. It's bad enough that we have to pay $40,000 for the friggin' one day. So it's going to be awesome. November 2nd and 3rd. I'm almost envisioning that you could come in on Friday and spend the weekend downtown doing Charleston. You can do Charleston in a few days, and then boom, you're doing some training on Sunday. Boom, you're doing some hanging out and talk tracks on Monday, and then we're gonna do an after party on Monday night. I'm trying to rent out a pub, but yeah, all about good times. I forgot who gave me the idea. It was Casually Joseph. Shout out to Casually Joseph. Not only is he a mod, but Casually Joseph's the one who suggested I see if I can get the Citadel to host us for that one day. I've had to jump through a lot of friggin' hurdles, but I'm fine doing it. We had to get like a $2 million insurance policy. Anyways, I know you guys don't care about that. The conference is just going to happen. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited. Let's bring Eric Taylor back in. Eric Taylor, another thing about the Simply CyberCon that we're thinking about doing is smoking meats. I know you are interested. Casually Joseph, we could have a meat smoke-off maybe. I am willing to, or Simply CyberCon, which is a nonprofit, is willing to rent a, pull behind smoker, so we could smoke lots of meat, if that's something that would make sense. So just so you know, I'm not committing you to smoking meat either. I'm just saying it's something I'm entertaining.
Okay. I mean, we can do it. But it could be a good reason for a marketing for Barricade Cyber to own one of those things for some reason or another. I don't know. We might come up with something.
All right. Yeah, we could totally do that. I love it. So like I said, for me personally, it's all about getting the location set up, and the big pieces have to get put in place. And once the big places are in place, then we'll have scaffolding, and then we can do the fun stuff like smoked meats and CTFs and badge challenges and stuff like that.
Eric's brisket is so dry it makes the Sierra Desert look like a swamp. No, sir. No. There's a difference between soupy brisket and dry brisket, but it does require resting time.
I want some brisket now. I want some brisket.
Dude, I'm going to try to get that smoker going so good you can smell it all the way on your side of town.
I like it. B-Sides Charleston the same weekend again. B-Sides Charleston has not confirmed their date. I did have a conference call with them about 2 weeks ago and told them our plans were going to be these dates. And they did indicate that they wanted to partner and do it that Saturday. So Code Brew, as far as I know, it will be that Saturday, but I can't confirm it because I'm not, part of their board. So, but the plan is yes. There you go. TJRs is excited. Brisket tacos would be awesome.
God, yes, that's so good.
I want some brisket tacos right now. I might
We may have to go downtown. There's a new barbecue joint that I've been hearing about that maybe I'll swing over to your side of Charleston, pick you up, and then we'll head downtown.
Oh man, I am so hungry right now. Let me look at my calendar. Of course, I'm a psychopath, so like my calendar for today is full. I can't
I'm just
leave.
glad you're using your calendar, sir.
Oh, that's how I like live.
Yeah, me too.
Admin Jerry puts things on calendar, and Worker B Jerry does them. Although Worker B Jerry just blew through some tasking that I was supposed to do. So, anyways, we're getting up at 9:57. Any final thoughts, Mr. Taylor?
No, I'm getting ready to push out the changelog site and everything like that. So EPSS lookuptool.com will be updated. So definitely check that out on LinkedIn because I'll be posting that. So I'm pretty happy. I don't think anything more will be coming. There was one request about doing a copy button or something. I'll have to look into what Chris Whitlock stated about that. So that may be one feature that we do, but I think this thing looks pretty cool. I really would love to get some feedback of what people are thinking.
Yeah, happy to provide it. I used it. I'll probably use it every time there's a CVE that shows up on the stream. So Tech Grunt is booking a flight just for the smoked meat. This might turn into a smoked meat conference that just happens to have cybersecurity going on.
I'm down for it.
I love it. I love it. All right, TJ Williams, you can go to Buc-ee's on your way here. I will be skipping the Buc-ee's experience.
You don't want to drive up to Florence to go to Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's is nightmare fuel for me. I can't.
Why?
Have you walked into a Buc-ee's?
I've been to one on the way back from Mississippi, I think it was. It was
they assault
okay.
you. It's an assault on the senses. I can't. Buc-ee's! Like if you like, I didn't realize you have to acknowledge them or they'll continue to yell at you. I needed to use the bathroom. I didn't want to. It was too many people. All right, we got to go, guys. Everybody, this is Eric Taylor. I want to say thank you to him for punching in here. Shout out to the mod team. You guys straight crush it like a bunch of bosses. All of you Simply Cyber community members, Team SC. If you got to go, take care. Have a great weekend. But if you want, we're gonna raid Daniel Lowry, his IRL stream in just a hot minute. I'm gonna show it on screen. This is it. Whoop. This is it right here. So I just dropped a link. Let's go raid him. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. He's Eric Taylor. Have a great weekend, everybody. And until next time, stay secure.
Smoke me.